Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just going to wrap up what I read in the month of January. Now I already talked about two of my books, and that was Horns by Joe Hill and I Am Legend by Richard Matheson, which I enjoyed both those books. But I can link to my video where I talked about those down in that, I always forget what that's called, description box. Yeah, I'll link to that video below so you can check out more, I guess, of what I thought about those. Now, the next two books that I read were Liane Moriarty books, and those were The Last Anniversary and Three Wishes. Now, let's see. Which one did I read first? Oh, I read this one. I read The Last Anniversary first. So, I read this one this month, and I've kind of talked about the synopsis when I hauled this book, but of course, I know a little bit more about it now, and trying to stay spoiler free here. But this is about a woman who is in like her late 30s. Yeah, she's in her late 30s. She's getting ready to turn 40, and she turns down her boyfriend, her longtime boyfriend. I guess he's sort of longtime boyfriend. I don't know. I think they only dated like a year and something. People date a whole lot longer than that, but we'll just call him her longtime boyfriend. She turns down his proposal, even though, the way she describes him, I mean, he was perfect, but it just, I don't know. She turns down his proposal, basically, and she kind of doesn't know, her life is stagnant right now. But then she moves to his family's island. Basically, it's his family's island, because she inherits his aunt's house for some reason. She doesn't know exactly why she has made such an impression, but she inherits a house from her ex-boyfriend's aunt, which of course, creates a lot of family drama. So she moves back to this island. She moves to this island, into this house, and just drama ensues. I mean, if you're familiar at all with Liane Moriarty, basically it's just a tangled web of stuff, because she's so great at character weaving. She like weaves characters. That's what she does. These characters are like a big spider web, and they're all interconnected with each other, and she does it in such a way that I don't feel confused. I can keep everybody separated. Sticking my hair here. I can keep everybody separated in my mind, and I know exactly who is who, because she does such a good job making them distinct. In my opinion, she makes them pretty distinct, so I never get confused. So yeah, drama ensues, and there's just mysteries and like just emotional junk that just happens all throughout these books. This one was kind of hard for me to read. Not because I didn't like it, but because there's a character in here who has recently had a baby boy, and she is clearly suffering from postpartum depression, and it's just, I don't know, that was really hard for me. Like, I would read parts from her character in this book, and it would really bring me down, which is a good thing for the author, like, that she can do that she can bring that emotion out in people, and in me. And I think part of the reason is because I just had a baby too, so I don't know, it just made me feel so sad to read from that character's point of view. But I really enjoyed it. I mean, what's not to enjoy? Every Liane Moriarty book I have read, I have pretty much loved. I mean, I've never regretted reading one, and I've never felt like DNFing. None of them have really ever moved slow for me. They pick up really fast and keep you interested. And on that note, I read Three Wishes by Liane Moriarty. Now, this one was a little bit different. I will say, I just said that, they pick up and go really fast, but maybe it was me. Maybe it was me, because drama stuff happens right off the bat in this book. A big bombshell is dropped. But for me, when I was reading this, I did have to, like, it took a while to get warmed up to it. It took a while. I mean, I liked it, but I wasn't hungrily devouring it like I have been her other books. So I don't know if that was me or this book. It's hard to know, because you know, you read so much by one author and things do slow down eventually. But this was about triplet sisters, and their 30, is it their 33rd birthday? Yeah, something like that. So it starts off with it being their 33rd birthday, and then it sort of backtracks in time throughout that past year. And what I like about this is each of the three sisters, even though they're triplets, of course they're so alike, but they are so different too. Each one has a very unique storyline, but is still so closely interwoven. Again, the character weaving is just phenomenal in Moriarty's books. I don't know how she does it, how she keeps track of all these plots and subplots and just all this stuff in her mind. And that's the only part that's hard to keep track of, is everybody's relationship to each other. Sometimes that is hard to keep up with in the Moriarty books. But that was that. That was good. I loved both of those. And the last book that I read in the month of January, which I finished on the 31st, was Scythe by Neal Shusterman. I'm pretty sure you say it Scythe, or is it Scythe? I think it's Scythe. I always tend to say it wrong, so I don't know if I'm saying it right now. But this book, wow. This is a YA book, which is one of the reasons why I've put off reading it for so long. I don't tend to reach for YA. I mean, I don't know. I just don't. It's not a place I go in the library. It's not a section I tend to go in any bookstore. But I finally picked up Scythe because, and only because of BookTube. Again, thank you, BookTube, for recommending books to me that I would never, ever have considered. And I think part of it is, and I feel really guilty for saying this, the cover. I totally judged this book by its cover. I saw the cover and I was like, that doesn't look like a book I'd be interested in. I know, it's so stupid. It's really stupid of me. But that's one of the reasons why it took so long for me to pick it up. But I love this. Now, what this is about, it's like would you call this a dystopian? I guess you would. It's set way in the future, past the age of mortality, is how they put it. Because no one in the future dies or gets sick. If you get hurt, you get healed. So they've eradicated disease. They've eradicated death. So, you know, people are just living their lives. And so they have decided to make scythes, right? Scythes, is that correct? Let's hope that's correct. So they've decided to make scythes, which are just people who have the job of bringing death to people, and that's just to keep the population in check. So it's a time in the future when everybody can live, and everybody can live and never die, and in order to keep population control happening, they have these guys killing people to keep that in check. And I don't even, I'm just so surprised. It's one of those books that surprised me about how much I enjoyed it, but I really did. I love this book, and I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. That's how much I liked it. And I read it in a matter of, like, hardly no time. I mean, I devoured this book. And it's not a small book either. I think it was like 400 something pages. I devoured it. It is really good. And thank you again, BookTube, for making me step out of my book comfort zone, because I don't know. I'm so glad I did. I love that book. So that was my reading month for the month of January. It was a good one. I have no complaints whatsoever. I got 5 books read, and all of them I enjoyed pretty well. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and if you have... I am getting so tongue-tied today. I'm going to talk really slow. The baby's asleep. Why am I rushing? Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you all again really soon in my next video.